Standout linebacker in the late 70s is coming back to Missoula, and new defensive line coach Barry Sachs. Coach, first off, welcome home. How's it feel to be back?
It's incredible. It's an incredible feeling to be here in Missoula, you know, where my football career literally began, and back in the state of Montana. It's just an incredible feeling. Every day I wake up and I pinch myself. So to me, it's a dream come true.
You've coached for over 30 years, and along the way, you've always said you'd like to find a way to come back here to Missoula. Tell us how the stars aligned this time with Coach Houck and just with the timing of it all that you were able to find your way here.
Well, you know, I've really admired the University of Montana and the success that the University of Montana has had since I've left here, and obviously have been able to compete against the University of Montana, and it's really been kind of bittersweet in a lot of ways. And I've known Bobby for quite some time. Always admired what he's done, admired what he did here, the incredible success he had, and I kept good contact with him. And even though that sometimes that we were on opposite sidelines, but I've admired what he did, kept in contact with him, and when this started cooking up a little bit, I told him I would love to become a Grizzly again.
As an alum, you've followed this program from afar. How has that been the last couple of years, or even the last couple decades, so to speak, Coach, where you followed it from afar and always kept your eye on Grizzly football?
I'm very proud of all the success, you know, and at times I was loud with it with some of my coworkers and co-coaches and things, because I've been proud of, number one, the university success. Missoula's incredible to me. You know, it dates back to when my grandmother lived here out next to the Greeno Mansion. And my mom was literally raised in Missoula. And so then you go to the point in time to where now where it's built up now, our stadium, our facilities, the Champions Center, it's really a proud time to be a Grizzly. And you know what, it's great, because what we're gonna do is make it even a greater period of time that's coming forth.
Well connected on the West Coast, obviously. You spent 10 years at Nevada and well respected along this region, Coach. Where have you learned, or what have you learned maybe the most of yourself growing up and just through the coaching ranks? What have you learned the most?
Well, number one is it's a game of people, and it's about a game of relationships as far as coaches are concerned, and how a staff and a coaching staff can mesh, and also a leadership. And we go right back to Coach Houck and my admiration of him and his leadership. And I think that those combined with a staff's ability to analyze talent and put it in the right places and recruit to that talent and recruit to the area and the love of your area. All of those things, if you really love the area that you're living in, the school that you're coaching for, the job becomes much easier. And it's much easier, you know, and people and players and recruits always understand that you have that love for that. And then going back into another situation is your relationship with your players, that they understand that you're going to be demanding, you understand you're going to be fair, they understand that you have their best interest in mind, that you're going to treat them as if they were your extended family and your sons. And so if you have those combination of things, I think, you know, that can lead into success as a football coach and as a staff and as a program. Go ahead.
Coach, you referenced going against the Grizzlies in the 90s. And I'll have to admit, I went back through the stat sheet, and 13 sacks against the Grizzlies when you were at Boise State. Are you sure you didn't go into the stat monitor there and make sure you added a 1 in front of it there? That's a pretty impressive number. What was it like coaching against the Grizzlies?
Well, you know, and that game was in 1994. And yes, it was a game where, you know, Montana came in highly ranked. I think they were number 1 or number 2 in the nation. They came into Boise. Boise's, you know, always traditionally been, at that time, when I played, Boise State and Montana was an incredible rivalry. And because of that rivalry, they came to Boise, and there's a home field advantage there, obviously. We had a defensive front that was extremely good at that time. We had a good plan going into it. And so with that, we knew we played good man-to-man coverage. And we had a good game and a good game plan that day, and had an extremely good active front, and it turned out that way. So we turn right around, come back here in 1995, right back here, and you know, Dave Dickinson and the crew just nailed us. They screened us to death, middle screen. I thought I'd never seen so many screens in my life. So we were, you know, our tongues were wagging out of our mouths, and it was one of those kind of things that we tried to do the same game plan from '94 to '95. In '95, they stung us with it, and they got after us, and they were highly successful that year. And at that time, the Big Sky was the top dog, and it still is for that matter. And you know, so the #1 ranked team in the country, you know, came out of those two places. And you know, it always went at that time through Marshall. It went through Appalachian State and some other schools, obviously. But you know, as those 2 years traded off, you could see the amount of success that each team had.
Coach, you have a really good group on your roster established on the defensive line, at least for now. How have you assessed the talent so far of the guys that are going to be in the same room as you, and I guess the early stages of that before you take the field for spring ball? Well,
I enjoy their attentiveness, and I enjoy their work ethic, and I think that's, you know, all those things are earmarkings of people that really want it, and they're very ambitious to get it done. Those are earmarkings of young men that want to get it done and want to sit there and really the ambitious part of coach me, coach. And I've told them, hey, I need to see in your eyes and see in your demeanor, coach me, coach. What's next? Give it to me. You know, so whatever it is, I'm willing to do it. And I really enjoy that part of it. I think it's extremely exciting to me as a coach to see that ambitiousness, because it makes me want to do better and do more for them. And so it gets me excited just to walk into the room with them, have them sitting up with their notebooks in their hands and ready to go. And right now we're just in the strength training, some conditioning, and seeing that, and just to push ourselves to the next level, because there's parts of that have not been reached with any one of them yet. And we just got to find those parts and pull it out of them.
Coach, finally, how would you best describe your coaching style, and what would you like to see, I guess, from a defensive unit that you'll be working with a lot of other great coaches here in the same room, but how would you best describe it?
I think I'm aggressive. I am demanding. I'm loving with the football players, both on and off the field. But again, with no way am I going to let loose of any of those demands that I have. Along with that, I'm never going to walk out on that football field and not give it my 1,000%. I never want to do where I demand that out of the players and not demand it out of myself. And I'm gonna coach them with all sorts of enthusiasm and excitement and energy. So no matter the age of any coach, I never want to hear that energy thing without my name being attached with it.
Well, I can feel the energy in this room, Coach. We're happy to have you. Barry Sachs, the new defensive line coach.
Appreciate it.
You bet, Coach. We'll have more assistant coach interviews coming up on
Peace out.
GoGriz.com.